is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human, running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampir. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic Druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
Hi, my name is Josh. I am from the RollTogether RPG stream, and I will be playing Killian Maxwell, a half-elf warlock who has come to Barovia. He was with the party previously but has lost them and has joined up with the Tempest on their adventures.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the dungeon master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. A warning, gentle viewer. Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which means you may hear adult language or adult themes throughout this episode. Hello!
Hello everyone!
G'day.
Welcome, everybody. And a crisp g'day from Tom. Nice. That was good.
Crisp.
We should use
Mixing
g'day
it up.
more. Why aren't we leaning into our Australian vernacular more? It is disappointing. G'day, mate. Join us in the Lost Archives faster than a cat off a hot tin roof. Truth, mate. Welcome, everybody, to the Lost Archives.
It's a full-blown Aussie campaign next, please.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about
Return
it.
of the Drongos.
Ooh. Curse of Drongos. Oh, Curse of Ipswich. Could be good.
Oh.
Okay. We'll work on this behind the scenes. Don't worry. We'll work on this. There's gold here somewhere. We just have to mine it and workshop it a bit more.
Probably out west.
Probably out west. Welcome everybody to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see all of your gorgeous faces once again. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, you will have not heard a full chorus of hellos joining me for the hello at the beginning. And those of you who are watching on Twitch and on YouTube, you'll be able to see that we've got only 2 faces visible at the moment. We do have more than that playing with us tonight, but we have had a spate of cameras. One camera not on and 2 people running late. So I am joined by Haz and Tom. Jared is also here. However, Jared may be afflicted by sunstroke, and we want to give him a chance to fully recover after being outside for, 9 hours in a 32, 33 degree day?
Roughly about that, yeah.
Fuck.
So, and we got
So
bombed
bad.
in that time as well. So it's the
Yeah,
bomb
that's-
is in the middle of nowhere with no shade. You know, that was sort of what got us.
That is definitely less than ideal.
The one that's so annoying is that like it was the only spot on the whole track that someone could get bombed, and they just had to go around it. They decided to try and go through it fast, and then they got bombed.
Oh my god.
It was quite impressive. It really was. There was nowhere else.
If you weren't so angry, you would have also been impressed, right?
Oh. No, I
Josh,
wasn't impressed,
hello.
actually.
Josh is here as well. Hello, Josh. Perfect timing. We've just done our hellos. And
Hello.
Perfect. I'll edit it in. Welcome. We are going to jump into the session. I only have a few pieces of fun news. I did manage to successfully procure a new house that is now all organised. It'll be unconditional in the next day or so. So in mid to late Feb, the background behind me will change. There will be a whole new recording studio with soundproofing, very graciously provided by Haz, who bought too much soundproofing and now has some spare. I will be using that soundproofing as well as some soundproofing I have of my own. I'm going to have a whole light up background. I'm going to have a shelf with all the lovely books that we use. There's going to be a whole new setup coming very, very soon. So I'm super excited to share that. If you wanted me to do a bit of a quick behind the scenes tour of the new setup once it's all ready to rock and roll, let me know, because I'd be more than happy to do that. Maybe that could be like a little behind the scenes YouTube short, because we haven't been doing enough of the YouTube shorts. We need to do some more YouTube shorts. I've got to be great. But yeah, I am going to be moving house, which I'm very, very excited for. This has been a lovely house, but it is time to have a properly set up recording studio, minimizing the sound of dogs occasionally barking, cicadas letting me know that it's now 7 p.m. And the occasional cane toad outside my window, letting me know that it's down and ready for some cane toad loving. It's always great when that happens in the middle of stream and you hear rop, rop, rop outside the window. I'm like, fantastic, wonderful. Thank you for sharing, cane toad.
Some of the sites I work on, we have this really cool frog. We call them banjo frogs.
I
And
know
they
banjo
actually
frogs.
legitimately, like, when... Oh, so you've got them up there too.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
exactly sure on their range, but the sound they do, I really enjoy it when I'm out. It's really literally sounds like banjos going off.
We should probably jump into our session. I don't have any other fun announcements. That was the only other fun announcement I have to share. Is that I'll be moving into a new space, and I'll take some photos and chuck up maybe a YouTube short showing off the little setup. For those who enjoyed some of the other like random projects, I will also be setting up the 3D printer again now that I will have space for it. I will be 3D printing minis and terrain again, which will be very, very exciting. I'm very keen to get back into the 3D printing. And I'll also be setting up the mead making again too. So I know there's some of you who've really enjoyed the mead making videos. I'm sorry I haven't done more of them. It's just that you kind of need somewhere safe to ferment mead, somewhere like temperature controlled, and I didn't have that at this house. So I've been waiting till I have a place that I can like properly control the fermentation. I will now have that, so I will do more of that stuff as well. And there's also going to be a few more live shows coming up this year, as in like shows where I'll be doing D&D in person at events. I also thought maybe I should do some like videos on making the costumes and putting the costumes together, because I really, really had fun putting together the costume for the most recent one we did at the end of last year. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know and I'll do that. I'm very much a newcomer to cosplay. That was the very first time I'd ever done like a cosplay for that D&D event. I really enjoyed it. It awoke something within me. So I will be doing more of it for any time we do any dress-ups. I'm fully in. I'm now 100% committed. So if that's the sort of stuff,
can you help you on that front?
I know. I'm excited. I'm feeling
dabble?
like I want to play an ogre
dabble.
for the next live stage. I'm going to go as Shrock. I think that'd be fun. The only concern I have though, the inside of the mask, it's got to be at least 50% your skin and sweat at this point, right? Like,
Oh, dude, it's fucked. Like,
okay.
the inside of Shrock is the only thing more horrifying than the outside of Shrock.
Noted. Okay, I might avoid then. Maybe I'll just paint my face green like Jacob did for the Halloween special.
The first time I wore Shrock for the actual party I bought him for, I did both because I figured I'd take the mask off pretty quick. So now not only is Shrock full of Harrison sweat, it's also full of green face paint. So every time I still get a little bit green every time I wear the Shrock mask.
Do you know what though? To your credit, you did actually buy face paint, whereas the one time I attempted to buy paint to put on my body, I bought medium body paint, which was not body paint. It was just medium body paint.
Just spray painted your face.
Well, I bought it on Amazon and I only read body paint. I missed the bit in front where it's like medium body paint or light body paint. I thought, oh great, that's what I need. I only need like a light coat when I like mildly tint my skin, and it was not body paint. It was just medium body paint. So to your credit, you're not as much of an idiot
I've
as I
learned
am.
something there as well, so...
Like, how am I supposed to know these things? Obviously, I'm supposed to know these things. It's pretty clear. I just had to read the description where it very clearly says, like, not for placement on anything other than, like, metal and wood. It was corrosive even on, like, plastic. It was like, you can't put this on, like, untreated or unsealed plastic. And I thought, if it's melting plastic, probably best if I don't put it on my skin. Around my eyes, nose, and mouth.
Not Kardashian safe.
Not... Perfect. That was a necessary joke we needed to get out there. Brilliant. Oh my goodness. Well, I think we should stop delaying. Let's jump into the session. We left last episode on a... Oh yeah, go.
No, let's jump in. Let's go.
Oh, I thought you had something crazy fun to share, and I was very excited.
Oh no, I'm just excited to play D&D.
And excited to meet your NPC best friend again, right? Oh, the silence. He's daydreaming about Sergeant Gavel. He's just, even the mere mention sends Jared into a swoon. He's just unable to process the emotions that come with thinking about Sergeant Gavel. Oh, perfect timing, Raph. We were literally just about to do the recap. That is perfect timing. Let me bring your webcam across. Oh, and the only thing I have to say, Jacob is not joining us tonight, sorry. So I will take control of Tithla. If Tithla is much more quiet than normal, you're welcome, is all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to give Tithla an interruption there. It's my new favourite phrase. Let us do a recap and jump straight back into the session. Previously on our Curse of Strahd campaign, our series has been following the adventures of the Tempest Adventuring Guild. Theo, Luther, Jonor, Grinner, Tithla, and newcomer Killian, an adventurer from a distant land. Having become trapped within the realm of Barovia while searching for some missing adventurers, the team have been travelling west in search of an escape. Arriving in the village of Krezk after taking a little detour while escorting the last surviving children of the Wokta house to the nearby abbey for healing, the party have faced some pretty significant dangers over the last day. Firstly, after defeating some monstrous vine blights infesting the borders of the Wizard of Wine's vineyard, the team met with the Martikov family, owners of the estate, and spent some downtime tasting wines. As the evening wore on, the wine worked to help smooth conversation, and the team spent a while learning about the dangers posed by the Druids of Yester Hill. After Jonor offered to do a card reading as a bit of a party trick, Jonor found himself making a true foretelling, mentioning a talisman of feather and bone lost in a drowned village. This foretelling seemed to disturb Davian and his daughter Stefania, drawing the evening to a close. While Jonor and Tithla checked in on livestock, Killian helped patrol the property, Grinner connected with Davian, and Luther revealed his family ties to Grinner. The next morning, the team began their journey to the nearby settlement of Krezk, finally finding the time to check in on the Wokta children and seek the medical attention Tithla has required for roughly 20 sessions. While following the path back from the vineyard, the team was suddenly put into a state of high alert, following the sound of a low growl coming from the nearby wooded area. While searching for the source of the noise, the team instead bumped into an old acquaintance, Damien, an elven hunter they had previously travelled and camped with. Seeming surprised to find the party in the area, Damien revealed he had been hunting werewolves, and his reason for leaving the team before had been to lead a pack away from the party. After failing to find anything suspicious in Damien's words or behaviour, Killian decided to take a closer look at this individual with his eyes of the grave, revealing Damien to in fact be an undead creature. With this final piece of information, Luther realised Damien was actually Strahd in disguise, calling out and revealing this to the entire party. After some back and forth, Grinner and Killian found themselves taking heavy damage, having insulted Strahd to his face. When Killian spat in Strahd's face, a brief but intense combat broke out, resulting in Killian falling briefly to a terrible bite wound in his neck. Luckily, however, Jonor and Tithla were able to calm the situation down, giving Grinner a chance to throw Strahd off with some strangely insightful comments. A bargain now struck. Strahd departed the group, promising to check in on them again soon. Some quick thinking from Tithla and Jonor helped to prevent Killian suffering further from his terrible injury, and the team began to make their way closer to Krezk. With all of this having taken place right outside the gates of Krezk, the team found themselves also drawing the attention of the local guard pretty quickly. With a less than warm welcome into the town, led by a group of soldiers and a Sergeant Gavel, a grizzled man with a ragged eye patch over his left eye, the group have had a brief discussion over how they want to proceed next, debating whether or not to head straight to the Abbey or first to check in with Johann Martikov, a contact they had been provided by the Martikovs at the Wizard of Wine's estate. Deciding to visit the Sorry Excuse for a tavern first, before heading up to the Abbey, we left off last session as the team entered Johann Martikov's inn. That is where we left things off. We're jumping straight back in. As you step through, this building, house, really, that has been partly converted, the front 2 rooms and doorway converted into an incredibly small tavern-esque sitting room, roughly only 4-5 meters wide and 8 meters long. This room is really almost a large hallway and dining area combined into one. The bar, as you step in, is really 2 massive planks of wood holding up a sawn-in-half log that is being used as a temporary bar. As you step inside, you can see the place is deserted apart from a gentleman, roughly sort of maybe 40s, early 50s, dark black-grey hair with some streaks of white and grey running through it, carefully polishing a glass behind the counter and stacking it up. There are only 5 glasses on the counter. The room itself is dark and dingy, a single window letting in the meager light Barovia has to offer. As you step in, the gentleman looks up, and you can see that he has a very small patch of black beard on his chin, sort of almost like a soul patch, but a bit rougher, almost a bit more overgrown. And as you step in, he nods, sort of takes a bit of a double take, stares at you and goes, I do not recognize you. You are newcomers here.
Yeah.
Welcome. Come in. Come in. It has been a while since Krezk had some visitors. Oh, Sergeant, your usual, I presume? Yep. Give me the usual piss.
Are you the Mr. Johan?
That is me. I am Johan Martikov. Pleasure.
The Martikovs were the Wizard of Wine family name, right? Yep. Are you of relation to the Wizard of Wines, Martikov?
Cousin. Second cousin.
Oh, very good. Well, I'll have a, do you have a wine?
Indeed, we do have some bottles that have been provided by Davian. I have a few. If you're looking for a red or maybe a dry white, I can provide.
Well, the red would be lovely. While you're busy that, we have just come from your cousin's vineyard.
Wonderful. How are the family? Your silence is concerning, strangers.
Oh,
Well?
they are safe. But the farm was under attack by some spooky plants, and well, your cousin Davian is he seems a bit depressed.
Yes, the years have not been kind to him since the passing of his wife. He has been withdrawn. It is one of the reasons why I have not visited in some time.
Seems like the kind of reason you should have to go visit, maybe.
We tried at first, a number of us did, to get through to him, to spend time with him, but I think he prefers his solitude. As do many in these times of grief. We've made it clear if he ever needs anything, he can reach out, but he can be a bit of a grumpy old man.
Well, speaking of which, I believe, was it a cog they needed manufactured? Is that why we're going to see this guy?
Oh, it's a gear. I think so.
Yeah.
There's going to be some sort of gear.
Yes, yeah. Davian does have a need. He sent us in to see you to procure what is it, Jonor? A gear or a cog or something for the machine?
Was I blacked out for that? I don't remember that at all.
Well, it's why our dear friend Tithla here was guiding us to come to this bar in the first place.
I wasn't paying attention to any of that. That was boring.
Nice try, fucker.
You don't. Oh, it was Tithla. It was Jacob.
Was it Tithla?
Yes.
No.
All right, let me have a quick look. Let's see if Jacob's added any notes in his notes section.
We're definitely going for coming here to grab the gear because they need to process the wine. They're doing it manually at the moment, and the Wizards of Wine, and quite frankly, it's just not doing it for them.
Oh, they said they needed a gear for the wine press. Something like that.
Tithla?
Did they mention the size? No, I imagine not, right? Did he... No specifics?
How many different wine presses do they have?
Only one wine press, but there are 4 gears used to help move the machinery. 2 of them are the same, but the other 2 are quite different. So 3 different types of gears required to transfer the energy, right? Because you know gears transfer power, and so you have to have different sizes to make them. You don't care about this. I'm guessing he did not say which size.
Yeah, just get us all.
No, there wasn't a size mentioned.
Of course there was not. And payment, he gave you money to provide for me for materials so that I could make 3 different sizes and find out which one he needs. No?
No, he said you'd be able to sort that out.
Of course he did. Family, huh?
Cannot live with them, cannot live without them.
I'll put it on credits then.
How many of you lot are in this town? How many Mardikovs around?
Krezk, that is just me.
Oh, you made it sound like you lot are fucking everywhere.
Oh, the family have spread far and wide. There are a number of us living around the place. We have moved out We were originally in Beres, the town of Beres, but ever since it was destroyed and flooded, we have had to move to other places, those of us that survived.
Was that where Davian's wife was lost?
Yes. Yes, it was. Along with many others.
What, you said a flood. What happened?
What happened in that town? It sounds like it's...
It is a dark story, not one I relish reliving and retelling. And a lot of it is not my own story to tell. In truth, I was a much younger boy at the time. There's not a huge amount that I remember. I am sorry.
Is it a kind of story you need to have a drink to share with people?
Ooh, can you make me a persuasion check? It's nice, I like that. That's a good call. 10. Perhaps. But not today. I don't want to darken the sergeant's mood. I don't care two hoots about you or bearers. There you go.
Does a talisman made of feathers and bones mean anything to you, Johan?
You watch as Johan's face freezes for a moment, smile fixed. A look of panic enters his eyes. A talisman of, what did you say? Bonny feathers? No,
feathers and bone.
No, not something I have heard about before. No, not something I would know anything about.
Do I even need an insight check to know that he was full of shit there?
What's your passive insight?
Passive insight.
Do you want to roll one anyway? Just yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, I did bad acting so that you would know he was lying. Do you want to roll me an insight anyway? Those of you who do want to, just to see what else you get. Jonor, 10 for insight. Absolute middle values tonight only for Tom. Yeah, Jonor, not sure. Hard to say. Clearly there's more to this story, but you're not sure if it means anything in particular to him or whether he's just keeping his guard up with strangers. Theo, 17. Oh yeah, the second you said talisman of feather and bone, huge reaction. This is definitely not the first time he's heard of that. The emotions, fear quickly swallowed by almost a crushing numbness. And now it's just a mask, trying to act like he was before, but he's overcompensating. He's too happy, too jovial, too joking. He's hiding something, definitely.
I do not mean to pry into something you do not wish to discuss. I understand it is a sensitive topic. Davian told us some, but not all, and he's asked us to do certain tasks for him, and it's somewhat important that we know, but they seem too painful for him to share. So if you could enlighten us, or if you'd rather discuss it more in private, we could, come back at a slightly later time and have this discussion. But you clearly know more than you are letting on here, and while you are within your rights to not tell us, lying to us is, well, not going to help you here.
You watch as he reaches down and very carefully and deliberately knocks over one of the glasses with a little bit of almost what looks like a whiskey or a beer in it, and then begins tracing in the water, forming out letters. While he does this with his fingers, he sort of shakes his head and goes, "No, I don't know anything about that. Doesn't mean anything to me. I was probably thinking about closing up soon. Maybe come back for a drink some other time. But no, it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know what that is, and I'm certain Davian would have no part in anything that sounds anything like that." You watch as he traces Later in the spilt drink.
Okay, well, we gotta go to other parts of Krezk as well, so if you need, that works for us. I think our friend Grinner here needs a bit of a stiff drink. He's taken a bit of a clobbering just recently. How's your Grinner? You're tasting like a a whiskey or something of that sort?
That's very kind of you, Jonor, but no, mate. I might just have a water, I think.
No problem. I can give you a glass of water as you make your way out the door and continue on with your travels. Fine folk. I'm sorry that I could not help you with this talisman you speak. Sorry.
That is okay. I understand that not everyone knows everything about every talisman.
Oh, of course, there are many secrets. Many secrets in the lands of Barovia. Many secrets, and some it is dangerous to talk about. Others free to ask, but some you want to be careful. Barovia is a wide land, a big land, but sometimes can be very small, and sometimes things can be overheard that would not be ideal to be overheard. One cannot be too careful, no?
It's alright. Your point is crystal clear, Mr. Johan.
Oh, I'm just prattling on nothing to worry about from me. Nothing at all.
There was something that did pique my interest. Was it like a mongrel folk or something like that? But something about an abbey. Can you tell me about that?
As you change the subject, you watch as Johan, standing tense and alert. Despite his jovial tone, his body almost locked in this fight or flight mode. As soon as you mention the mongrel folk, you watch as his shoulders relax, his fist at his side unclenches, and he leans a little bit on the bar and lets out probably a completely unintentional sigh. Mongrel folk. Yes, it's funny. I probably should not use that term. I think it is probably insulting, but there are people who live at the abbey, cared for by the abbots, who are, shall we say, touched by a strange malignancy. It makes their body exhibit animal-like traits.
Kind of curious. Is that from the acts of someone you know, or just that that nature's taken its weird course with them?
It's hard to know. The actual cause is unknown, but mongrel folk should not use that word. The people, the afflicted, shall we call them? If they are to, how to say this delicately, if they are to have children with other non-afflicted people, their children are afflicted. It is passed down. The origins of this, who knows? And obviously if they have children with each other, they have afflicted children as well. But every so often a new one turns up, wanders into the village as if drawn towards the abbey. Sometimes family members will bring family members who are afflicted as well, take them up to the abbey.
What do you mean they're drawn to the town? Do they come past and have a drink with you and have a yarn and then go on, or they just?
No, most of them have a healthy fear of people. They can sometimes look bizarre, sometimes almost monstrous, and lesser minds fear what they don't understand. And he gives a very pointed look towards Sergeant Gavel, who downs his whiskey, and then looks up, one eye, the right eye looking at him, goes, "Wander into town in the shadows looking like a beast. Get cut down like one. Pretty simple stuff."
Do they have people braids or do they have animal braids?
They're called mongrel folk. They've got rotten braids all mixed up and all burned out. You watch as Johan interrupts. No, that is not correct. That is just... No, they are people. They have minds of their own, but sometimes the animal traits can sometimes exhibit changes in behavior to the mind and changes to the way the mind works. But they are people. They are sentient. They have thoughts, dreams, wants, desires. They are not monsters or animals. They are scared, frightened people who have been touched by something, not evil per se, but something that has warped them and changed them. They are scared. They do not understand.
So
what makes you say something in you? Oh. Go on, Grinner.
No, you go, Jonor. You know way more about this shit than I do. I'm just curious.
The word evil drew his attention.
I thought it might.
What do you mean something evil might have been in operation here?
That is my superstition. I've spent too long amongst these country bumpkins. I take offense to that. do not care if you do or not. You drink my whiskey, you have to listen to insults when I hand them out to you. I have seen many years back. This was in the town of Beres when I was a young boy. One of the other people there, husband and wife, they were both afflicted. They gave birth to a child who was born without lungs, just gills. And the child was unable to last. That seems cruel to me. That is evil. And there were always whispers, always there have been whispers of this being an old curse, an ancient curse that has been around forever. A sign of a sickness upon the land itself that sometimes seeps into the people, changes them. I do not know about any of that, but I do have to say that experience did color my view of this affliction somewhat. And it feels to me that anything that affects survival, I mean, some of these people are so warped they cannot walk without causing themselves pain. They cannot talk without pain. They cannot do anything without pain. That strikes me as cruel. Maybe cruel is the word. Evil, maybe. I'm probably stretching. Cruel.
You're saying that you're not too familiar with the origins of this one, but who would be the most familiar?
I mean, the abbot has been caring for them as long as I have been. As long as I can remember, as long as I have been alive, longer. Even my grandfather even spoke of the abbot. He's been here for a long time. He's very hard to age. He looks the same. Looks hard to judge his age. Very ageless.
What else would you say about him?
He must be over 80 or 90 years old at least. He must be. Maybe older. Maybe 100? I have only met him the once. He is a very peculiar man. Very odd. Strange way of talking. It's not something that is familiar to me. Most of us assume that he is an outsider. One of the people who come from other places, drawn in through the mists. But, I mean, others who have come here, people like yourselves, travelers, do not recognize him or where he has come from. So, wherever he is from, it is not somewhere people come through from often.
He has never said where he is from?
No, never. He's never once mentioned it. He is hard to talk to get straight answers out of. He speaks, I don't want to say speaks in riddles. That sounds like such a said thing, such a common phrase, but he does sometimes speak in riddles a little bit. It is hard to know what he is saying sometimes.
If we were to wander up there, is that going to do us any harm? Is people that walk up there, do they come back changed?
I mean, most people who have gone up who are not afflicted have come back down with no ill effects. Some of them have come back changed. I saw one group who they had suffered a terrible injury. The arm had been withered back to almost a stump. It looked like a skeleton hand, covered in like this black, like charcoal crisp. So it was weird. It looked like a horrible injury. They said an amulet they had touched, some sort of item that they had pulled from a grave. Obviously, don't take things from graves would be my advice. But hey, it had caused some terrible injury to their arm. They went up and came back with the arm fully healed. It was remarkable magic. The abbot has always been one who cares for those who are sick or injured. But sometimes people don't come back. I always assumed it's because they were beyond saving or maybe required longer care.
I'm gonna the reasons for coming and not coming back. I want to see if he's got anything he's got in mind.
I reckon that'd be maybe Arcana or Medicine check, hey? I reckon either of those would be it.
Okay, for sure. Yeah.
Insight from Grinner. Grinner. Sounds a bit off, but then again, like, in battle, sometimes people go to the medic's tent and you don't see him again. It's pretty normal for combat. Like, if the injuries are bad enough, sometimes people are beyond saving. It's just that simple. Jonor, 17 for Insight. 20 for Arcana. Jonor, powerful healing magic is just that. Like, the description of this person with the cursed limb, as you sort of reflect on what magic could be used to heal that, I mean, you're looking at spells like lesser restoration, maybe even greater restoration would have been required. Depends how bad the curse is. So whoever this abbot is, he is definitely a wielder of powerful magic. Powerful magic. Which does seem a bit odd if people with injuries or sicknesses can't be cured by it. I mean, if he's got that much powerful magic that he can restore some people, why can't he restore others? Odd. There's an incongruency there. Something doesn't quite make sense.
When you say that he hasn't aged, or does it look like he's... What age would you put him at, if not
I would have said... Well, no, that's what I was trying to say. It's very hard to age him, to put an age to him. He is... I mean, sometimes in some lights, I think he looks like he is, like, 30 or 40. Other times he looks old, like 70 or 80. But his skin, there are wrinkles. He has no hair, no beard, no hair, just balls. Like, I don't think he has any hair at all, actually. It's very hard to age him. Just looks like a... Well, I mean, he's the abbot.
Yeah, right. Well, I suppose we should probably go say hello to him and get Tithla all fixed up then, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty hurt.
Tithla tugs on your sleeve.
Tithla, you are fine. It is Killian's that we are more worried about at this point. So you just come along. We'll if there's time after we've seen the abbot and get Killian fixed, we'll see if we can get you fixed too.
Well, that sounds fair. That's only fair. I agree. Gotta make sure we look after people who are injured. Gotta do our best for them.
Well, Johan, it's been great talking to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you later. And, look after yourself.
Yes, please feel free. Once you have dealt with whatever business you have at the Abbey, getting healed, things like that, it'd be my pleasure to see you again. Please feel free to come by. And if, perchance, I have not opened yet, it is maybe early or maybe late, and I have not opened the doors and you can't get in. Sometimes I like to take a walk down towards the pond, just down near the edge of the southern wall. So if you can't find me, maybe you come back early or late. Maybe I'll be there if you want to come join me for an evening constitutional.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great day. We could do that one.
I sometimes like to fish there, or go for a walk, or just contemplate things. Sometimes I like to talk to myself too.
What the fuck you telling me about?
Just if you were interested. It's a nice pond to walk around.
All
right. Let's get I see Grinner beginning to talk again. I'm gonna say, Grinner. Well, you've finished your drink here, haven't you? No, you didn't even have a drink. You're just having a water. That's
you got the water, which need to discuss that point too.
I think it's probably for the trip up. We're gonna figure out what's going on with that one. Johan, thank you. We'll catch you next time.
Indeed. Good luck at the Abbey.
All right.
Perfect. Brilliant. As you start to walk out, Sergeant Gavel slowly stands, flicks a gold piece over the counter, and reaches around and grabs a half-full bottle of whiskey, and then begins walking out, following along.
Are you coming with us to the Abbey, Sergeant Gavel? I
made a promise.
On all future gestures.
I made a promise. I'm not going to go back on it. Plus, this little one would annoy me.
Is that promise? No, you wanted to be an excellent companion. We could leave her with you while we go up and see the abbot if you'd like.
Why don't we bring him with us forever?
I'm not leaving.
I said, look. Yeah, if you break a promise to Tithla, you'll regret it.
Yeah, I got that impression. I don't make a habit of lying to children, so I figured I may as well come. But only halfway up. That was the arrangement. I come the full way.
Well, close enough's good enough. So long as we get close enough, you can point us in the right direction.
It's a single pathway up a winding mountain pass. I'm sure you will manage by yourselves.
Oh, you'd be amazed.
Oh, well, maybe you would not. At least if I get you halfway along the path, there's only two options. And if you're walking towards me, you're going the wrong direction.
All right.
And yet, you'd be surprised at how long that could take our group to accomplish this.
I'll make it clear.
We've followed a single path for many, many hours before.
Come on, time's wasting. And with that, Sergeant Gavel begins leading you down the pathway. It doesn't take you long to leave the village of Krezk. As stated before, the village itself is only about 9 or 10 buildings. It is tiny. The pathway out, however, is long and winds up the side of a rather steep mountain. You can see the abbey from down here at the very top. Beautiful stone walls and spires rising out from the side of the mountain. What almost looks like a carved out plateau at the very top. Something old, something ancient. The pathway itself was once very well looked after, cobbled, maintained, but not for a long time. Parts of it have collapsed, broken apart. Other sections are choked with weeds, overgrown with tangled brushes and tree roots cutting through and splitting through what was once beautiful worked stone. If there were once signposts along this pathway, they have rotted and turned to dust. But the path is clear, and Sergeant Gavel, despite grumbling most of the way, leads you along and up the side. While you are making your way up the mountain pass, it does look like it's going to be a little bit of walking, maybe about 45 minutes or so. What would you be doing during that time? Just so that I know.
But Grinner, are you feeling all right?
Yeah, why? What do you mean?
Well, I just, Jonor offered you a drink. I've never seen you say no before.
Yeah, well...
Not that I'm not proud of you and everything, but just making sure you're okay.
Yeah, look, I'm definitely... You know, that whole thing with Strahd was a little bit... I don't know, that was... I don't know, I think that just kind of shook me up a little bit. The things he was saying, it was a little bit like a really old, cranky mirror, sort of. I don't know how to explain it properly. It was I don't know. It was like looking into my fucking future, sort of.
I mean, if that did that to you, then I wonder what it did to Strahd.
Yeah, he also seemed quite rattled.
Yeah,
But I don't think you have to worry about becoming a vampire lord and enslaving an entire demi-plane and being kind of a douche to thousands of people. I do not see this in your cards.
Well, no, because I'm not going to live as long as him, am I?
So,
well, if that's the only difference, it just...
No, of course not. But I mean, honestly, you have plenty. Like, you're not going to end up anywhere like him. You have plenty of time to become the person you want to be.
I reckon he thought the same thing, mate. That's the problem.
Well, I think
I feel like he plunged his hands into power and kind of rolled with it from their dot.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. You know, it's all just fucking happened. It's I need time to think about it. You know, there's lots of shit that I haven't really had a chance or much of an inclination to tell you a lot about me and the things that I've dealt with. But let's just leave it and say that there's a lot of things there that it was like looking in a very old cranky mirror. Let's put it that way. And I think I've been running away from my shit for too long and drinking it away. And I think if I keep doing that and I keep running away, I think I just saw what running away from my shit looks like.
You feel a hand.
You know what I've...
Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, you go. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, it's actually on point. There's one difference between you two I've seen. You know, what ghosts march up to the castle versus the ghosts that not linger, that's the wrong word, that hang around you, Grinner. That's two different types. I kind of prefer your ghosts, actually. You can just think about who hangs with you versus who hangs with them.
Well, yeah, all right. So I helped a couple kids and they decided to stick around. I guess you could call that a point in my favour, I suppose. But I don't know.
He murdered thousands and they stick around with him.
Well,
that's a valid point.
But see, that's my point too, right? Like, he's been alive for fuck knows how long. He's had a lot of time to accumulate a lot of shit and to give up. And I've given up. And if that's what giving up looks like, I think I don't want to give up anymore.
You feel a small hand on your shoulder, Grinner. And as you turn, you see Thorn clinging to your back, getting a piggyback from you. Ghostly, transparent form. Holding onto your shoulders, and as you react, he smiles and laughs and tugs on your hair a little bit as he tries to get himself into a better position to avoid falling off. It's light. I mean, he weighs almost nothing as a spirit. You just feel this kind of gentle, almost like a pull, as if the wind has just tussled your hair. And as he climbs back and smiles, he goes, "Grinner, hey!"
Yeah, hello.
You're making good decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't call you out. How the fuck did you get here?
No. That's the best bit. I'm getting better at...
And then he vanishes.
You lot saw that, right? That wasn't just...
Owen, did my character see him?
No, unfortunately not. Only Grinner.
Okay.
Thorn's still practicing. Thorn's not quite good enough yet.
Grinner's just had a breakthrough and then immediately starts talking to himself.
And we just see him rambling, basically.
Well, I mean, you know that Grinner has two ghosts that kind of semi-haunt him. I mean, and occasionally Grinner does talk to them, and you can't see them. So I'd say at this point, how many times have you spoken to the ghosts in front of the gang? At least 3 times at this point.
Yeah, probably around 3 times.
Yeah,
is this becoming like a habit where we're sort of a bit more... We just sort of accept it now, I imagine?
Well, I mean, you've seen them. You occasionally have seen them in combat when Grinner has been raging and has channeled some of the abilities of the ancestral path. You've seen the children appear in that fight in the lackey against the vampire. The 2 children, I think you even manifested them. They helped hold the vampire steady as you punched him in the face. You've manifested them now a couple of times, visibly and invisibly. So, I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear. I mean, you guys were there when Grinner saved the 2 children. He saved Rose and Thorn. You know. It is. You know who it is. All of you know who it is, except for Killian. Actually, Killian's the only one who doesn't know yet because Killian's not seen them.
Fuck these ghost children.
Yeah. Killian, you've seen the ghosts on occasion, but I don't think there's been a conversation about it with you around. Actually, to be fair,
totally accepted it.
Yeah. Sorry. It might be a good time to ask if you were curious.
I mean, Killian has his own issues at the moment that might trump it.
Yeah, he's necrotic and dying.
Yeah, that's why he's not said a lot.
Well, his blood's corrupted, and then not to mention his whole party.
Yeah. I think Grinner's probably just going to lapse into troubled silence as he's trudging along, and he's probably chain smoking more than usual at the moment. Literally chain smoking.
It's a good question. How much tobacco would you have with you? Because you haven't bought any since arriving in Barovia.
No, he hasn't.
And that was just like Legolas's arrow quiver.
Nope.
Yeah,
the never-ending dog end.
It's not.
Always just pulls a dog end behind his ear. It's always
canon. Yeah.
Are we doing like a Nobby Knobs from Discworld, where any cigarette that you have immediately becomes a dog end and then lasts indefinitely as a dog end until some indeterminate amount of time has passed? Look, do you know what? I'm happy to rule that.
There was a certain amount of Nobby Knobs involved.
Yeah. I can tell. Big fan of Discworld and Terry Pratchett, so happy to have a bit of a Nobby Knobs reference. Yeah, in that case, let's say for sure. I mean, you've got about 20 or 30 dog ends just in a pouch at your waist whenever you need, just on tap. Probably some still tangled in your hat too. You've got that sort of soldier's cap. In the lining, there's at least another 3 or 4 squashed flat cigarettes that you've rolled who knows how long ago.
But no, they can't be infinite. There will be a finite number, and I think Grinner is dreading the day that they run out.
Do you want to roll me a D100 just so that I know which day it is that they run out?
Okay.
Just for my own benefit. You don't want to roll below a 10 on this.
Roll for it.
Yeah. Oh no!
Not 1 on the 100.
Oh no!
It is this day. Oh my god!
A 1 on the D100.
Oh,
that is.
So I've rolled a 100.
Yes.
And I've rolled a 1.
Yes.
On these fucking things in
Yes.
one campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, before we were saying it is not this day. Grinner, as you reach for a dog end. You pat your hat, there's no dog ends there. You reach down and pat your pockets and you pull out a few papers. There's no tobacco in them, it's just the empty cigarette paper. In patting down your pockets, reaching around, there's none. And as you pull open your tobacco pouch and quickly check inside, an errant gust of breeze catches the last few flakes and they just vanish over the side of the cliff on your right-hand side, disappearing into the depths below.
Oh, fuck. Jonor, give us your tobacco, mate. Give us your tobacco.
Well, smoke, what are you talking about?
It's anybody?
I've got some herbs you can have, Grinner.
Oh, fuck. I didn't think that was possible. That's a run out of tobacco.
Well, you have been smoking a lot, like more than usual. You probably should cut back on that.
Oh, I immediately want to have a drink. I'm not doing that. I need, fuck, maybe the habit's got something. He'd better, maybe someone in town's got. Alright, first things first, heal this lot. Okay, you can do it, Grinner. Just gotta get out the hill now. Alright.
I imagine in Grinner's mind, keep running up that hill, running up that building. As you start having
a good berry?
Would a good berry help? Good berry might work. Can you smoke a good berry? Can you smoke a good berry? Maybe if it was dried. Interesting question.
Roll a good berry.
Before you do that though, from behind you, Sergeant Gavel coughs and splutters a little bit, and as you turn around, Grinner, you watch as he hastily tucks a cigarette behind his head.
Oh no, you fucking don't. You're sharing, mate.
No, that was not part of the bargain.
Well, I'll make a new one with you. What do you need?
My tobacco.
Well, I need that too.
How badly?
I'll fight you for it.
I'm not. No. I would throw you off this cliff in a heartbeat, boy. I scare off bears.
It does. That is a fact.
What would you pay me for my tobacco?
Fuck. All right, he's gonna start rummaging around. I'll give you. I'll tell you what. I'll give you tinderbox. No, I need that. I need that for the cigarette. I'll give you. Hold out a torch. A torch is good for.
Why would I want a torch? I got a lantern right here. Not some savage who needs to set fire to a twig every time he needs to see in the dark.
Can I punch his lantern?
I mean, yeah, you can.
I'm gonna punch his lantern.
Roll me an attack. Go on. What is this? What have you become?
Well, I mean, it's Grinner, let's be honest. One breakthrough every few sessions is enough.
19, 6. You punch the lantern. The strap immediately breaks. The glass lantern at his waist that was sort of hanging off his hip rolls and shatters on impact with the rocky stone terrain, with the cobblestones that you've been walking up. And as it drops down, the inner mechanism that was used to help tamper the wick just pops, and you watch as this lantern oil spills out all over the ground, immediately soaking into the dirt. You watch as Sergeant Gavel just stops. His mouth opens wide, he looks down at the shattered lantern, looks up at you and goes,
My grandfather made that. With his own 2 hands.
Well, it looks like you need a torch now, Vin.
Deal's off. Find your own way up the fucking mountain.
with that, Sergeant Gavel turns and begins walking away.
I really thought that would work.
How did you possibly think that would work?
Well,
You just broke the poor man's stuff.
Yeah, well, I didn't know his grandpa made it for him. It's just a fucking lantern. Oh shit. All
It's
right.
still his lantern?
I'm going to pick his lantern up. I'll fix it later.
Are you picking up all the tiny shards of glass or just the mechanism?
Just the mechanism.
Alright, cool. You can add broken lantern to your inventory.
Oh, I feel like a bit of a dick now.
Jonor's gonna walk over to, as you're reaching down, grabbing the bits and pieces you can. Jonor's gonna like squat down beside him, and sort of like say quieter to Grinner. Don't you really need that tobacco?
Thanks, Jonor.
Yeah, I do. What, you saying I need to go after him and get it?
Whatever. Look, I'm just trying to articulate the things you might need.
Well, I mean, as one of the major forces of good in this group, I trust you and your decisions. You think I should go get that?
I mean, if it helps you stay composed, then maybe a different offer.
Can
Money.
I roll an insight check? Right?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, this sounds a bit sus.
I think that's
Has
what
Jonor been possessed by some malevolent forces?
That's a 9, Grinner. Oh, it sounds like sound advice. Yeah.
Can I argue that because this is so left of field and unlike Jonor normally, can I argue for advantage?
I'll tell you what, I'll get Jonor to roll a persuasion check. We'll do it as a contested, because I think that'll be a fair way to do it. Jonor's not the most charismatic. This might be a good roll for you.
It is. You got a 2.
Oh, shit.
Jonor, here's the sitch, Grinner. I mean, Jonor's bringing up some valid points. You don't have tobacco. You want tobacco. Gavel has tobacco. They're all valid points Jonor brings up, all 3 of them. And together they form a very rich tapestry of guidelines of how to behave. But there is another thing. There's another fact that penetrates through your alcohol-deprived skull at this point, which is, but what am I going to have to do to this man to get it? Is the trade-off worth it? Because I've just broken his lantern. Am I going to fuck him up as well, just to take some tobacco? Which, to be perfectly honest, there may be some at the end of this 45-minute walk. That extra fact does slow down your thinking process at that point. And it is that point where you realise that is uncharacteristic of Jonor to suggest such a thing. Jonor, what is going through your head? What are you kind of thinking here? With a 2 on your persuasion, whatever it is, it's not very successful, and it is kind of transparent. What are you hoping to kind of like? What are you leaning for here? Are you trying to study some good and evil?
I was curious what Grinner would do.
Yeah.
Just to start shit?
He's like a scientist. I was curious how the ants would respond
He
to
had a hypothesis, he had a method, he's tested it.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to test the null next, so we'll see how that goes, where he convinces you to do nothing. But he's curious, yeah. Just Jonor seems a bit curious.
Crouching down there next to Jonor,
Yeah.
as Grinner's picking up the mechanism, I think Grinner's just going to look him in the eyes, frown at him for a minute. I think I do need tobacco, mate, but I think I fucked that bloke's day up enough.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's kind of sad that was his grandfather's. Maybe we can speak to one of the blacksmiths or crafters in town or another town to fix it up for him. You know, there's many ways to get around it.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to have to be another town, given that this one's literally just a pile of fucking sticks, but we'll see. Tithla, can you fix this? You got nimble little fingers, don't you?
I'll give it a go.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't think I'll... No.
No? I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I'll give it a go is not exactly filling me with confidence.
But I've got nimble fingers.
Well, you might have before they got all crispy fried. How about we get up the top of the hill and just see what happens?
It's okay if you don't trust me, Grinner. I'm often being underestimated.
Well, yeah. Yep. Grinner stands up and starts walking up the hill again.
Cool. Perfect. As you continue the rest of your walk without Sergeant Gavel, the last sort of 15 minutes does begin to get quite cold as the pathway begins to lead you up to a more exposed area of the mountain pass. The trees around here are capped with snow, and there is a light dusting of almost like a soft white powder, very, very light snow across the ground. You can see sections between the cobblestones where it has melted and refrozen, forming icy patches, but the pathway is not too treacherous for the most part, with all of you kind of keeping an eye on each other and making your way up the pathway, even with Tithla a little bit injured and Killian a middle bit injured, a medium bit injured. You are able to make it to the edge of the pathway without too much further incident. As you emerge from a slightly denser patch of forest, ferns crusted and partly frozen with a dusting of ice across their leaves, as you pass out through this dense patch of forest, the walls of the abbey rise before you. From down below in the valley and the village of Krezk, they looked pristine and untouched. But up close you can see time hasn't spared the abbey either. The walls are crumbling in places, large cracks breaking through the masonry, the stone in some places having shifted and moved, probably as the ground has frozen and thawed, changing the surface of the land around it, causing sections to slump and to rise. A large gatehouse stands at the very entrance, the wooden doors closed shut, easily 8-9 feet high, made of this very thick, solid-looking timber. But you can see where age has rotted away at the wood as well. The joins look weak, the nails rusted and partially protruding. This place seems to be in the process of slowly decaying away. I pass over to all of you. That is what you see from outside the gatehouse.
How is it that you think such a grand abbey came to be outside a shitty town like this?
Well, it probably wasn't a shitty town when it was here.
I mean, it doesn't look like there was many abandoned buildings or anything. It
There
looks
were.
like
You could see signs of where the village once had been larger, but had been destroyed or overgrown. You could see the stone remains of what was probably once large townhouses just crumbled and fallen away, reclaimed by the briars that form the edge of the palisade wall. I think I didn't describe it this episode, but I think I did last episode. But yeah, no, you definitely got the sense that Krezk is a town that was once maybe not too dissimilar from Vallaki. Bit smaller, but not too dissimilar from Vallaki. Now it's dying.
Is the architecture of the abbey the same as those dilapidated buildings?
Grinner, could you please make me? I'm going to say this is a history check, please, to see what you know of masonry.
I'm so good.
It's a shame there's no dwarves in the party, because you would have advantage on this roll, because it is stone, and you have advantage on any checks with stone. Killian.
Yes?
Hello, you looked really excited about the stone check.
I was really excited about what Grinner rolled.
17. That is an exciting roll. Me too. I wondered if you were going to be like, oh, my dad was a dwarf. I have partial advantage. 17, Grinner. The stonework doesn't match any of the architecture you've seen in Barovia. In fact, it doesn't match any architecture you've ever seen before at all. Blocky in places, sweeping and organic in others. It's almost like a hybrid blend of clearly worked stone, like hand-worked stone, and pieces that had to have been shaped by magic. The flow, the motion in the stonework on some of the statues and what probably were once gargoyles along the top of the crenellations too precise and too alive looking. Surely to have been carved by craftsmen's hands. Yeah, very, very different. The closest I could say you've ever seen was if you've been through Oxenfurt back in Nostea, if you've been through Oxenfurt. The Oxenfurt Historical Society, one of the large organizations that organization of archaeologists, if you've ever been past their guild hall, one of the statues on display out the front is not too dissimilar to the gargoyles. That very organic, flowing design. Not too dissimilar.
I don't think Grinner would have paid any attention to that.
Yeah, I doubted it, but I figured I'd give
you
it
were
for
busy
those who
insulting people to fall asleep on their watch.
Yeah. Oh, you fucking nerds! Old stuff's boring. Would have been Grinner's contribution to the field of archaeology, right? If
Pretty
it's so
close.
great, why'd it get buried in dirt, huh?
Exactly. But this place is, it's not like down there. Look at it. This isn't built the same way as those ones down there. I don't think this is from the same town. But they're right next to each other, which doesn't make sense. But it's that this isn't from that. Well, that isn't from this.
But if
I reckon
this was crafted by magics, then maybe this abbey is not from Barovia at all.
Well, you can't just pick up a building. Come on.
They picked us up and put us here, one of the building.
I would also add, along with large sections of the Durst Manor, you might remember when you came through, most of the basement of the Durst Manor was pulled
up a whole
through
building.
with you. Yeah. When you landed, I think most of the basement, along with sections of the walls, some of the staircase had been pulled through with you and deposited onto the field just outside the village of Barovia.
Well, that's pretty interesting. If this is kind of made by magic, perhaps. I'm just going to have a little bit of a peek as we keep on walking up here. And Jonor...
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Jonor is going to take a moment to compose himself, utters a few magical words, does the somatic moves, and his eyes then have a gold, contact lens-like thing appear on the front, and he, can cast Detect Magic.
Brilliant. As you begin concentrating, casting the spell, the golden light filling up and shining from your eyes, almost like a beacon of light and holy energy, as you begin staring across the stone walls and across the gate, the faintest traces of magic still remain. This is old magic, Jonor. In fact, that you can detect this at all is incredible. Is a sign of maybe how strong this magic once was, or a sign of how strong you are becoming ever since your dream taking control of the future. You've had these sudden glimpses, almost like this insight. Maybe this is what's allowing you to see these faint residual traces of magic. But yes, Grinner's assessment is probably right. This looks like it was partially constructed by magic, but more importantly, you can see the scars on the land around where this was deposited. This abbey was not built here. There's tears in space around where this was, scar tissue left over from an enormous amount of teleportation magic used to move this here a long time
I wonder how many
ago.
maids that incinerated.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. Like the entire staff.
The help's all gone.
When a wizard says he needs his staff to do his magic, that's what he's talking about. I told you, take the wizard's staff. They rush up to get escort away the maids. Oh, I'm now. Pippin, bring them back. I must cast magic, Pippin. Carry on.
Grinner, you're bang on with what you've said. This is actually not from here. I'm going to start looking at what looks to be the plonked in building, the different schools of magic. So if one was teleported in, rather than created. I imagine those are two different fields of magic.
Yeah, so you can see, so the schools of magic, yes, sorry. So teleportation magic was used to move the abbey here. It looks like it was constructed with what looks like a mixture of conjuration magic and probably transmutation would be the next school. Let me just quickly double check. I'm pretty sure it'd be conjuration and transmutation. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Actually, more transmutation than conjuration. Other way around, sorry. More transmutation, a little bit of conjuration.
Jonor?
Yeah.
Does it look like it was teleported here by someone on this side? Like, did Strahd bring it here, or did someone inside there somehow manage to get their entire building teleported here on their own?
Yeah, right. That's a good point. So, how would it? If someone plunked it here, they'd put it here carefully. But if you just, went into warp drive and just plunked yourself randomly in another place, then you'd be whacked into the mountain. So let's have a look. Surveying the land, does it look like it's just been hurled into the land or placed?
Could I grab a perception or investigation check with advantage, please, Jonor, as you're still using your detect magic? While that's going on, does anyone have a passive perception of 13 or higher?
You better believe.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes, I also do.
16
Oh, great.
is what
Everyone
I-
but Jonor, basically.
And not me either, I lied.
Okay. Thank you for coming clean about it. Jonor, 18 for the investigation check. Whatever magic was used to bring this place here, I mean, it's an entire abbey. We're talking an enormous church, 3 stories minimum, stretching back further than the eye can see from this point here. The wall around it is massive. This is huge. The amount of magic used, the energy required to teleport this would have been immense. And sure enough, you don't get the sense this was very well targeted. To control, to shape, and move the weave to your will, to bend the weave to your will to that extent, you're not even sure if it's possible with just the magic a mage could conjure. To move an entire building and landscape around it to an exact location. And sure enough, as you look, you can see sections where the wall is actually partially buried in the side of the mountain. Parts of the grounds have clearly eroded away and fallen down the side of the cliff. It's hard to know whether or not it was brought through by someone sending it away or someone bringing it to here, right? Like if someone from another plane banished it and it arrived here, or if someone here brought it here by summoning it. It's hard to know. But you don't get the sense sticking it on the side of the mountain was particularly the plan. It doesn't strike you as part of the idea. If it was, the motives are a mystery to you. And they didn't do a great job, if that was always the plan. While Jonor is doing this, Jonor having cast some magic and wandered around and gone up to the gates and spoken aloud, all of you kind of chatting, those of you with a passive perception of 13 or higher, you can hear muffled voices talking from behind the gate, the sounds of feet shuffling on brickwork, clothes rustling, and then silence as Jonor moves away a little bit, and then as he comes back, one of the voices, again, whispers quietly. They're coming back. Shh, shh. And then silence.
Well, what is it, Jonor? What do you reckon happened, mate?
So for someone to send this here, it's like if you wanted to throw, someone's skull, it's like you sent it across a continent. Like that, you just don't have the power to throw a skull that far. Something else surely has to have happened to throw this castle this far, something this big. Like it's just ignore my crappy metaphor, and there's a lot of magic that took to get this thing here.
Yeah, right.
I thought you went for skull as your point of reference. Like
Maybe we should ask the abbots. They was it one of the two people we spoke to earlier said that the abbot has been here since their grandfather, so they've obviously been here a very long time. So maybe they know where it came from.
I mean, he's meant to be powerful as well, so maybe he put it here.
Well, yeah, all right. Let's fucking go ask him then.
Grinner's going to walk up to the gate and just yell out, "Oi!"
Grinner, as you walk up to the gate and yell out, "Oi!" you hear the sounds of like muffled conversation, and then a voice answers.
What? What do you want? What do you want?
Can we come here? We got a couple people who've been a little bit hurt.
Why you come here? Why you come here smelling wrong? One of you smells sickly. That's wrong.
Yeah, he's sickly because he's sick, mate. That's the whole point of why we come here. We got people who's sick.
Are you trustworthy?
No.
No.
Yeah, what do you want us to say? Like, either we are trustworthy and we say yes, or we're not trustworthy and we still say yes. What a waste of time question.
There's a muffled conversation.
I'm trustworthy by saying no.
There's a muffled conversation as two people talk very quickly to each other about potentially what this means, and then the original voice calls out again.
I see through your cunning ruse, and I say only a trustworthy person would admit to not being trustworthy all the time. Wait, what? No, you sure? I could handle you if you proved untrustworthy. You may enter!
And you hear the sound of feet shuffling, and the gate begins to open. As it does so, you see two individuals pulling the large wooden doors aside. Humanoid, but a bit shorter than most. About 4.5, 4'7". What could only be described as strangely and horribly misshapen people. One of them, clearly a man, squats, wanders on these feet, sort of bent over on each other, with grey, almost like donkey-like flesh across his body. He has a wolf's ear on one side and a protruding wolf's snout and fang, but the rest of him looks mostly human. But then you can see that his feet almost look sandy, almost tawny, like that of a lion or a tiger. And as he speaks through his misshapen muzzle, you can hear the words getting a bit mixed up and a bit broken.
See, I can take you. You stand before Otto.
All right.
Just you are very fearsome, Otto. I would not want to hurt you.
Ha ha!
To his left is a smaller woman, 4'7", face and body covered with lizard scales on the left side, and then tufts of canine wolf dog-like fur on the right. You can see her eyes are, one of them's bright yellow like that of a cat, and on one of her arms does look like a cat's paw, but with opposable thumbs. The other arm is lizard-like, only 3 fingers, dappled with green scales.
You come to see the abbot?
Yeah.
We must ask you leave weapons at the door when entering. And not to look.
She holds up a hand to sort of hide her face, pulling the hood up to hide her face.
Do not worry, we are not concerned by your appearance. I take on the form of an animal all the time. They're pretty used to it.
Otto wanders over, sort of looks you up and down. Theo smiles and goes,
You look mostly symmetrical. Very lucky. Are you here to join the family? Very tall for one of us.
No, I am not here to join the family. I can get around fine, so I'm just here to get my friends, the small burnt green one, and
Hello.
the bleeding from the neck friend over here. We need to get them healed by the abbot. Have a polite chat, and then we'll go on our way. But it is good to see some other
People, mate. People.
Yeah, the people, yes.
What you're looking for.
People like me.
You are polite for smooth skins. So polite. Well, not all of you. Crispy skin.
as he laughs a little bit, looking at Tithla.
It is not polite to laugh at her. She met misfortune with an oven.
We can fix. Abbot can fix. Very good. Very good.
Alright, well, shall we go to see the abbot?
I could handle you on my own if needed, but you seem somewhat easy to handle. Siegfried,
much so. I mean, like I said, my friend Tithla, he got beaten by an oven. Like, we are very easy to handle.
Well, best not to wander. You should stay in Abbey. Safe in Abbey.
Where else would we go? We are at the abbey.
You should stay. Don't go anywhere else. If Oven beats you, then you are not meant for these lands. You stay here. Safe here. Safe with Abbot.
We'll have to once we have to heal, otherwise we cannot, I had to get all of our friends home.
This could be home. It is home for Otto. Home to Siegfried.
Yeah, look, Otto, that's very kind, mate, but we don't want to live here.
You might change your mind. Siegfried, you take them to Abbot, You want hand? You go by yourself?
You see her sort of nod shyly, trying to pull the cloak around her so that you can't see any of her features. She nods hurriedly.
Fine, I will come. Gate unguarded, but I could handle anyone who sneaks in.
Have you had anybody else come here recently?
Yes, 2 guests yesterday.
How is they? They are friends of ours? I assume the walkers?
Boy? Girl?
Yes. Girl thinks she is a cat?
Nah, yes. Not look like cat. Shame. More beautiful as cat. Not as beautiful as Otto.
He smooths his hair back over his wolf
Otto
ear.
is very handsome.
Otto is most handsome.
Truly very envious.
See, look at teeth.
And he begins showing off his muzzle-like teeth.
Handsome.
But
What
yes,
about before that? Sorry,
Many guests come through. Many people see Abbot. Sometimes he help, sometimes he turn away.
Anybody who has a large amount of scales and looks like a dragon man?
Dragon man. Otto thinks he would remember that. Otto's smartest as well. I don't remember Dragon Man. Siegfried, you remember Dragon?
Oh, no lizards. No lizards.
No lizards. Sorry.
Oh, okay. He said he was coming here. And then I just go quiet.
How big? Tall? Short?
Taller than a point to whichever one of us is the tallest. I would say probably Grinner.
I think Grinner's close
up
to
there.
the tallest. Yeah.
I'm reasonably tall as well.
You are, for a Satyr, yeah.
But if you count the horn height,
I'm guessing Theo does count the horn height. It does seem like well, you point to both of them. They're both.
Yeah.
Let's say they're both, because you're both over 6 foot. I think both of you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, just point to both of
I
them.
didn't put an actual figure on it, but
No, I didn't know that.
Giant. Big red cloak.
Yes, and very dark-colored scales. Black obsidian, even.
Gemstone man.
He points to Siegfried. She nods.
Gemstone man. Shiny. So shiny. Reflective. Pretty.
Not as pretty as Otto.
Not as pretty as Otto.
Is he still here?
I did not see him leave. He must be.
I just start nudging whoever's next to me with my elbow. That is one of the people you have come to find, no?
What
Yes.
is it?
Yes.
Were we looking for people?
we were originally, but that's why we went to see Durst Manor.
So
I
you
thought
would.
was he one of your companions?
No, he's one of yours. You
You have a
told me
much
that
better
you
memory
came
of him
to,
than we do.
you told me that you came to Barovia searching for people from your world, and one of them was a dragon man
Yes, no, I do remember him actually.
who I met in
Fenric
Thalaki.
Sage Spark.
Oh, that's
I
when
think
you
his
met him,
name
of course,
was.
yes.
Red
Yes.
Scales. Red Scales is the one you saw.
Yeah, Red Scales, Dragon.
Red Scales is the one I saw,
Fighter.
sorry. Oh, sorry, I thought it was black.
That's right.
Red Scales, sorry.
Oh, of course. I definitely remember this original name.
You said like lizard. Lizard's green.
Yes.
He beautiful. Gemstone, like gems polished on his skin.
Yes.
Gemstone,
But
man.
red ruby color.
Almost as pretty as Otto. Almost. I like his tail.
All right, cool. Should
we
we go
should
see the other?
Yeah, we need to go there. I look over at Killian, who intermittently, between pointing and holding his neck every time he lets go of his neck, I'm just imagining like this.
No, you guys have mostly treated it for the moment. Yeah. It's just black, dark Icarus blood that forms Strahd's face every time it strikes into a wall or a surface. The blood's like... no, Killian, you're not actively bleeding right now. I think Tithla did dress the wound and actually wrap it up. As Otto sort of smiles and goes,
We leave gate unguarded. I take you to Abbey.
All right.
No wonder. Get lost. Get lost. In dark. Fall off cliff. Woo!
What do you mean get lost and fall off the cliff? Is it not just in the Abbey?
Oh, no. You follow. If you don't follow, maybe you get lost. Maybe it get dark. You fall off cliff.
But why is there a cliff? We are all in the Abbey.
The walls. Not complete. Over far side. Fall down. Part of Abbey fell too. Many years ago.
Okay, this is unexpected development, but yes, leads the way.
Ha! I lead the way. I like captain. Ha! Yes, follow Otto. Zigfrak, you take rear.
Yes, I take rear. Yes. She falls back. The strange convoy begins to make its way through the grounds of the Abbey. The gardens, despite expectations, seem to be very carefully maintained. Hedges have been well looked after, and while the plants look unfamiliar to you, you can see that they are different to most of the greenery that you have encountered while in Barovia. Flowers even bloom in parts of the garden. And as you walk through down the main pathway, it takes you through an area, what is clearly an old abandoned graveyard with the gardens built up around it. Stunted pine trees break through the rocky earth around the graveyard, and you can see that the north wing of the abbey looms over the graveyard, but the windows are cracked. Whatever was probably what was once beautiful stained glass windows, now it's just the lead frames and occasional jagged sections of glass poking out. Snow covers the land, and you can see old, almost like partially decayed gravestones rising from this thin crust of snow. And beyond it, beyond that low wall surrounding the graveyard, you can see the ground just disappears. From this vantage point, you can actually see the village of Krezk, probably about 400, 500 feet below you. The view is stunning, but also a bit scary from that high up. As you walk through the graveyard, does anyone have a passive perception of 15 or higher?
Yeah, I got 16.
You got 16. I'm pretty sure
I
you're
have
the only
15.
one. 15. Okay, perfect. As you begin walking through, one of the gravestones does stand out to you. You can see a sun-shaped indentation marked in the center of the grave, with roses carved along the borders, forming almost like a wreath of flowers around the grave. And as you look at the gravestone, you can see the name Petrovna, Petrovna, carved into the gravestone. Otto does not stop, however, as you begin sort of showing any interest in the graves. He goes,
Long dead, nothing there. All gone, bones and dust.
and passes through the rest of the gardens. As you approach the abbey, I will read out what you see. The abbey entrance rises high above the gardens all around it. Easily a 15-foot high wall, joining together what from the outside looked like one wing, but you can actually see two wings of the abbey. The abbey itself is two large buildings joined by a single wing, almost like an entrance hall between the two of them. You can see
There are battlements rising high above on either side of the two wings, statues depicting angelic figures rising above, and below them monstrous figures like gargoyles, pipes rotted and rusted emerging from their mouths to help with the drainage of water collecting on the roofs. You can see high up on the battlements occasional figures moving, humanoid but too far away to make out features of any detail. In front, directly in front of you, the entrance hall is walled off by 10-foot tall, reinforced, banded banded iron and steel wooden doors. Unlike the gatehouse, these have been well maintained, and above them, a tarnished copper plate marked with that green-blue verdigris all over it are words which you read as, "May her light cure all illness." As Otto leads you towards the front doors, he smiles and points in through the gatehouse.
Please come. You're not walking fast enough. Come. Why are you not fast? Otto, so much faster.
we could not possibly keep up. You are just such a natural athlete, Otto.
It is my feet. Clever feet. Clawed feet. I can jump really high too. Higher than anyone.
This is most impressive. I can see why you've been put in charge of keeping the whole place safe.
Exactly. Otto the best. Come. So slow. Maybe your injuries slow you down, huh?
Yes, it do.
As he begins leading you through the gatehouse. Despite the enormous doors, clearly these are perfectly balanced, as only a very light touch from Otto leaning against them is enough to slowly cause them to push inwards, opening up to reveal an inner courtyard. As you enter on through, you can see thick fog fills the courtyard. Around you outside, the fog had started to descend, but inside the fog seems to have almost coalesced. The walls surrounding the courtyard, easily again 15 foot high, but the abbey was clearly beautiful once upon a time. Impressive. A monument to some god? Goddess? Hard to say. But now it is aged and broken. Lost. Destroyed by time. You can see from the inner courtyard there are doors to the north and to the east leading to the two main buildings, the two larger wings that form the abbey itself. In the center of the courtyard, a large stone well fitted with an iron winch rises up through the mist. So you can see a rope and bucket hanging down from the winch. Along the perimeter, underneath the overhanging wall, you can see stone sheds, several of them, padlocked wooden doors and alcoves that contain what looks like troughs, animal troughs, feeding troughs, water troughs as well. And in the very center, two wooden posts have been pounded into the stone, iron rings bolted to them. Chained to them is a short humanoid figure with bat wings and large spider-like mandibles on their face. For a moment, the courtyard is quiet, the mist muffling sound. And then suddenly, you hear the sound of screams coming from the shed. Just one, then joined by a cacophony as many voices, some human, some distinctly inhuman, begin rising. Eerie, unearthly, putting your teeth on edge. Mad screams. Otto covers his large wolf-like ear, looks and goes,
Sorry, noisy today. I go get the abbot,
What is he screaming, Otto, in the shed?
Patience.
No, I do not have patience for this. If someone is in danger, I must help them.
No danger. For our own good. Keep them safe. Stop them hurting others. Stop them hurting self. Very lucky.
Are they like you?
No. Otto, so much more beautiful.
Alright, I don't know how to ask that politely, and I don't know if I should just go ahead and ask it anyway, but I don't think I will.
Ask question. No, ask question.
Well, you're bits and bobs, right? Are they bits and bobs too?
Yes, yes. They are special, like Otto, like Siegfried.
Alright.
Up here, no good. No good at all up here.
As he starts tapping on his head.
Well,
Not like
well,
Otto.
Did they go bad or were they bored bad?
He just shrugs.
Alright. Well, fuck, we better get this lot looked at then, I guess.
You stay. You stay with Siegfried. Otto be right back. Go fetch Abbott. Huh? Not long. Not long. You stay?
Okay, you're with Siegfried.
He gives you 2 big thumbs up, and you can see that one of his thumbs is significantly larger than the other thumb. As he gives you these thumbs up, and he goes, big thumbs up, and then begins shuffling off towards the front doors of the east wing. Siegfried, who's standing with you, you can see her covering her ears as the screams continue, and then slowly, one by one, begin to die off. As Otto disappears, I pass over to all of you.
Why would he be leading us to the abbot all of a sudden for us to have to stop here, Siegfried?
What? Sorry, so loud. What you say?
Why did we have to wait here for the abbot when we were already going to see the abbot? Why did we have to wait here?
Abbot's private study. No one allowed in. Just the abbot. Working on project. Only Otto allowed in. Not even poor Siegfried.
And who is this gentleman with the bat wings tied to the post?
As you look over, you can see it's actually a woman.
Oop.
4 feet, 5 inches tall, hunched over, long, stringy black hair covering most of her face. Difficult to see until you've gotten a bit closer, but I mean, you can clearly see spider mandibles emerging from between her lips that have replaced a human mouth. Arms and wings of a bat, so no human arms, just bat wings. And rather appropriately, Theo, she has a goat's hoof instead of her right foot.
Very nice. But yeah, why is he tied to the post?
Mazenna?
She points over at the figure.
Mazenna, not good, but not good in dark.
She is not good in the dark?
She chained herself here.
I see.
Well, she does that every night.
Every day. And every night. I bring her food. Mazenna?
Is it just you and Otto who are not in the head?
No, there are others. Not many. But tries to help, but...
She holds up the large 3-fingered reptilian claw, and then seeing all of you kind of like take a moment to look at it, she quickly tucks it away.
Takes a toll.
Do not be embarrassed of who you are.
I don't like people looking.
Siegfried, did you always look the way you do, or has it got worse over time?
Always like this. Always Siegfried.
So you popped out of your mum looking like that. Does she look like that?
She looked different when she alive.
Yeah, right.
But not like you. Like me. Look different.
Alright, well, yeah, like the others said, nothing to be ashamed of, love. It's just, that's you. You gotta own it.
She nods and then pulls the cloak around her further, hiding in its comforting embrace. Would anyone else like to do anything while that's happening? You've probably got about sort of 10 minutes or so before Otto returns. What would you be doing in that time? The screaming seems to die down around the sheds. The banging on the sheds begins to fall silent again. The courtyard
there's like individual
there's about 7 or 8 individual sheds made of stone with some metal on the metal, almost like a corrugated iron like tin roof, and then banded wooden doors keeping them shut.
Is there any way to see inside them?
Not easily. You'd have to go up and have a bit of a look through the gaps in the wood.
What? Oh, sorry, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, is there perhaps a roach-sized gap underneath the door?
Roaches can fit almost anywhere. Yes, there is. You could fit underneath the door as a roach if you wanted to.
I'll just slowly inch my way over there.
Are you trying to hide from Siegfried, or?
I'm just going to look like I'm just kind of like just milling about, pacing about, waiting for the abbot, and slowly making circles over towards the sheds.
Cool. Okay. While you're doing that, Luther.
Yeah, so I'm going to go and just sort of rock up next to Killian. I'm going to sort of, after hearing all the screams and stuff like that, that's obviously quite sus. So I'm going to sort of go up next to him and not keep it sort of covert. I don't want it to be like out there for everyone else to hear. And I'll just sort of stage a whisper. I know that you use an ability, something to detect Strahd. I'm not sure what it was, but it helped us, sort of unveil him. That ability, would that work here? He's undead. Are these creatures undead? Is that something to check? I'm not sure.
I don't know if I can. I think I would need to rest again before I could try doing it again, I'm afraid. Taking a bit of a beating. Once I've rested, I could do it.
No problem. Yes. You just relax. You've been through a lot, so just take it easy for now.
Thank you. It doesn't... As horrible as the screaming noises are, with what we have heard about the people that are here, it's not a surprise to me that we would come across this. So it may not be as nefarious as it sounds. I would approach it with caution and maybe not risk pissing off the people that we want to heal us.
No, that's true. Unless, at least until you guys get healed. And then if anything else is going on, well, we'll deal with that then.
Yes,
Abbott flashing time.
Let us get healed first, then we can fuck around and find out.
Bloodless coup.
Number 2, electric boogaloo.
Perfect. With that, I'll probably just remain around Killian, but just sort of chill out. Obviously, I don't want to draw too much eyes to us.
Okay, perfect.
Seeing those two join together, I'd walk up to Luther, and I'd say the phrase, "May her light cure all illness." Does that ring a bell to you?
All right. So, Owen, does that mean anything to Luther?
Hello, friend. Would you like to make me a religion check, please?
All right, let's do it. Because it's with the sun, and it's obviously to do with, probably, or I hope so, to do with Lysander. Would I have advantage on this roll just because it's related to sun?
It's actually not related to Lysander, so just a standard check, please.
Cool.
So the grave had the sun emblem on it, but the actual abbey itself doesn't have any other. 8. I
was going to say, I think Jonor and Luther's travels in the past, we've spent long times on the roads, and I feel like we would have discussed things of mutual interest. And I did bring up the religious possible connection there. Could there be advantage of us both discussing the phrases of different religions and gods?
I would... Yeah, go on. That is a good enough reason. That is good enough,
no,
yes.
That
I agree.
makes sense to me, too.
Thank you, Jonor.
We've travelled for a while, actually, as companions.
No, that makes perfect sense to me. I
14's
like
a bit
that a
better.
lot. 14. Luther, as you look over and mull over those words, the phrase that was engraved across the top of the entrance, does ring a very mild bell in your eyes. May her light cure all illness. You have heard of gods that focus on healing and on restoration in, I should say, on Nostea, in the plane of Nostea. The gods that immediately sort of come to mind in terms of healing, Arathis, the goddess of civilization and invention, she sometimes has a little bit to do with with healing and with recovery, mostly to do with like the understanding of medicine. It's kind of more of a almost like an understanding and learning of medicine. Otherwise, the other god that kind of comes to mind as well is Pelor, the god of agriculture, who often is associated with life in that way as well. But a specific god of medicine, not really one that you've heard of. If anything, this kind of rules out Nostea as being the origin of this location. Sounds like a god that, yeah, not one you're familiar with. But as you focus on it and begin talking about it, thinking it through and discussing it with Jonor, Killian, you're from the Sword Coast.
Indeed.
Could you make me a religion check, please?
Hang on. Oh, yeah, religion is in R. Ooh, 19.
19.
Nice.
Okay, that's what we want to hear. As you begin talking through this, listening to the others talking and thinking upon it yourself, you have also heard of goddesses associated with healing. A dwarven deity, Sharindla, also known as the Lady of Life or the Lady of Mercy, goddess devoted to healing. A forgotten god, an old god, one the dwarves abandoned a long time ago. She was often described as letting her light heal all wounds. But this is an old, forgotten god, one that's long been abandoned by its followers and worshippers. You'd be very surprised if there were any left in Faerun who still worship Sharindla.
Alright, yeah, so with all that, then I'll sort of look at Jonor, I'm sort of thinking about it, racking my brain. Nope, not sure where that's from, Jonor.
Yeah, I've not come across any of those either. Just some parallels, but nothing really. We haven't nailed anything there.
I've heard a phrase similar to that from where I come from, so seems it is universal, as it were, or multiversal.
Yeah.
Wonder
It's
if
at this
we,
moment.
ask him about
Sorry.
it.
Yep, you go. No, you go. You go, Jonor. Sorry.
Do we bother asking him about it along the way, trying to understand the history of this place? We know that it was teleported in here.
It could help us find where exactly it was that it came from, if it is recollection of maybe of your god or the god that I know of. Would tell us if it's from your land or mine, or maybe even somewhere else.
Perfect.
We'll wait to see how it plays out.
As you're having this discussion, Theo sort of making his way towards the sheds. Theo, you get probably within I'd say 20, 15 feet of them when the doors to the east wing swing open and you see Otto striding out, shuffling on his digitigrade feet. Following him is a man, completely bald, no facial hair, dressed in long flowing brown and white robes. He has a very kind face, but it's very hard to judge his age. His features are handsome, chiseled. He looks quite attractive. You can see his hands are strong, even with the robes pulled up slightly over his forearms. You can see that he is quite muscular as well. He looks fit, looks healthy. And as he strides forth with Otto moving in front, he slows down his gait to match pace with Otto, to not push too far ahead of him. And as he sees you all, he smiles, clasps his hands together, and nods to Otto to continue forwards. As Otto rushes up and then bows very deeply, goes, "The Abbot," as he gestures towards the Abbot.
The Abbot.
Oh, the temptation to have the Abbot just tear off his robe, be like, "It is I have returned here, Manus." No, he doesn't do that. As the Abbot walks up, he grasps his hands together and goes, "Welcome,
Welcome to the Abbey of Saint Margovia. You are newcomers. Not sure where you are from. You smell of Faerun. As he looks over you, Killian.
Indeed, somewhere you have been before?
A long time ago. Too long to remember. It is wonderful that you are here. Please, come inside. You look like you have suffered a rather awful bite there on your neck. Oh, may I?
Yes. And I put my stump hand up against it, or my stump arm up against it, because I'm handless on one arm.
Yeah.
And we could maybe do something about that.
Give you a hand? Sorry.
Let me have a look. May I?
Yes, certainly. Also, my friend here has got terrible burns. Could you heal them as well?
She's supposed to be that color?
No, she's usually green, but we have taken a little bit to get her here after she had a brush with her oven.
I'm a beautiful specimen of goblinhood, thank you very much.
Yes, you are.
I think you all better come inside. Come. Please. Come.
Is he leading us to the sheds or back into the room?
No, he seems to be leading towards the western wing of the abbey. Sorry. Not towards the shed. Please, come. This is your shed. This is your shed. This is your shed. Who shall I put in the pit? You! As he points at Tom. No. Please, come with me. Come. I will take care of you. Make sure that you are all healed. I was planning to make a journey down the mountain to the village of Krezk, but I might wait for the morning.
All right.
I appreciate that.
See what we can do for you.
You mentioned you had been to Faerun, but that implies you are not from there. Whereabouts do you come from? Before you ended up here in Barovia.
I remember. Place of golden light. And he just pauses, staring off. Silent.
Cool. Sounds very nice.
That does sound quite celestial, actually.
Welcome, newcomers, to the Abbey of Saint Markovia. No, I've already said that. Yes, I've already said that. Please, come. I am looking after your injuries. Your skin's beautiful, crispy shade. I wonder if I could take a small sample.
Is he gesturing to Tithla?
Yes.
No, you did not need to take her skin. We came to get her healed, remember? Her and our friend Killian were badly injured. You said you were going to give him a hand?
But the dead skin must come off for the new skin to grow. I will need to remove every scrap of the burnt skin. And for you, that looks like a bite of a vampire, if I am not mistaken, no?
A particularly powerful one, yes.
I better have a look at it. Come! I will find a bed for each of you.
Can I roll a why did he forget that check?
Yeah, please do. I guess that'd be an insight check.
Yeah, I would also like to participate, not for why did he forget that, but more...
What up with this dude?
Yeah, is he sinister?
19 for Grinner. Grinner. This man's not all here. It takes one to know one. This is a man who is damaged. He is odd, very odd, and not just odd as in like he is a strange person with strange cultural customs. Odd. There is a bit of that. There's something else too. This man has a tenuous grip on reality at best. Theo, natural 20 for a 23. There is one thing that strikes you more than anything else. This man is not human. This man is not elf, dwarf, dragonborn. This is not even really a man, as far as you can tell. His mannerisms, his way of speaking, this is someone who's trying their best to appear human,
This is something else. You
Hello,
don't
fellas.
necessarily get flat out evil vibes, but this is something otherworldly. It doesn't think like you, it doesn't have the same morals as you, it doesn't have the same laws as you, and it's certainly not going to follow any morality that you cling to. If anything, Theo, it reminds you of an archfey. That would be the closest comparison you could draw.
It's not the best.
A timeless creature that lives by its own rules, with different laws, whole different morality system that is unpredictable, that is capricious from our perspective, from the perspective of mortals. That I'd say, given your history and your background as a satyr, Archfey is the closest that you would be drawing a parallel to.
But that's more of a analog rather than a definitive.
Yeah, you don't think it is an archfey, but that's in terms of like a comparison, it reminds you that element of alien nature, something that is the other, very, very different, and it is not going to have the same concept of morality that you have. That is something you know immediately. That strikes you deeply. This is a creature who is going to do what it wants, when it wants, how it wants, why it wants, and you are not going to be able to figure out. At best, you might be able to understand some of the motive. Best case scenario. This thing is going to think differently to you. It's going to act differently to you. Unpredictably.
That dwarven god that Killian remembered earlier, was it male or female? I missed that bit.
Female.
Okay.
Female, yeah.
As the abbot...
any,
you go. No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say, the abbey itself, does it have any... I might have missed this earlier. Does it have any iconography as to which god it actually is to?
The statues around the top, which are mostly undamaged, show angelic-like figures. But in terms of iconography, there's not a lot there, which is a bit odd and does stand out to you. Definitely.
Does Saint Markova, or however you pronounce that?
Saint Markovia, yeah.
Does that ring a bell for any religion that we'd be across from?
No religion you've ever heard of is referenced to Saint Markovia. In fact, the concept of saints isn't really something in Nostaean religion. That's not something that any religions really cling to, the idea of saints or holy people.
What about on Toriel?
Yeah, you've heard of saints before, yeah. But you haven't heard of Saint Markovia before. I'd actually tell you what, let me be fair. Would you like to make me a history check, please? Let's see if you've heard of Saint Markovia. Maybe a scrap of a legend is filtered back into...
14?
14, sorry, mate. It was worth a try. Maybe a scrap of a legend is fed back, but unfortunately didn't make it all the way to Killian. The abbot doesn't pause. He continues marching on, muttering to himself, and Otto sort of gestures behind for you to follow, and then he and Siegfried begin making their way back out the main gate. As the abbot leads you into the western wing, opening the doors up with just a gentle push of his hand. These doors would easily weigh 100 kilos, minimum, and he just gently opens them with one hand, pushing them aside as if it's nothing, and leads you into an enormous open room. Gentle music trickles down from somewhere high above. Be a stringed instrument, a harp, something like that. But the ground floor where you are is large, 50-foot square room, arched, leaded glass windows all around, some of which are still intact, showing beautiful stained glass window depictions of what almost looks like people in plague situations, injuries, pox, plagues, being healed and made whole again as the fresco moves across. In the very far wall, you can see a massive hearth, fire burning, warming the room, chasing away the chill of outside, and an iron rack suspends a cauldron above it. Above it again, you can see a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. Polished, perfect, beautiful, but clearly not part of the original stonework. This has been added. And as you look behind you into the back corner, you can see a wooden staircase spiral, climbing up to an upper level, probably where the music is coming from, while the other corner, on your left-hand side, a stone staircase descends down into darkness. That is where we're going to wrap up for tonight, because I think I want to give this full attention with a whole session as we delve into the Abbey at St. Markovia. So
I think I think when we see the panel with all the pox and stuff on it, I think Killian stops and stares at it for a little while.
Yeah,
That would be the only thing.
What would Killian be thinking while you stop and stare?
Killian's whole thing, he came to Barovia on accident. He was looking for a cure for a disease that had started spreading around Neverwinter.
Yeah.
So he went into the Neverwinter woods and ended up in Barovia with his party. So that's sort of his thing.
With your group of others. Yeah. That would be a pretty confronting thing, right? The idea that you've been searching for this. This is part of how you got here, and here you are in the Abbey.
Yeah,
Signs
and
of that.
starting as a cleric of Kelemvor, they were at the forefront of trying to heal the people that were diseased by this thing. So he was proper in the thick of it. So seeing it on state, or seeing something similar to it on stained glass windows is very sort of
It'd be very hard.
freeze in place sort of thing while everyone carries on walking.
Yeah. No, I think that, and that's a very fitting moment to end on, as the abbot strides into the room, boldly marching forwards. I think we'll come back next episode and get to enjoy that. Now, there is one thing I'm going to say, and we are about to start introducing a new recap system, as suggested, partly by Josh. Each week, I am going to alternate between one of the player characters giving a recap from their perspective, and one of the NPCs giving a recap from their perspective. It won't be every week, but it will be most weeks. So my question is, would anyone like to take the plunge and volunteer to do the recap from their perspective, or their character's perspective, for next Monday? Inspiration will be awarded to the person who puts their hand up and takes that plunge.
I just thought to myself, did I? And then I realised I did, and I went, oh shit.
I was almost tempted to make you do it because it's your suggestion, but it is a really good suggestion, and I don't want you to feel like you're being punished for it. If you would prefer it to be an NPC for the first week, I'm more than happy to have an NPC give a recap for this session.
I'm in the process of moving house, so I'm out.
No, that's fair. That's very fair. Tell you what. Let's have a think. There's no rush. We'll figure it out a little bit later. It may be one of you guys next week. It may be just a normal recap, but it is something I'm going to start introducing because it is really cool. Maybe
it definitely has to be Sergeant Gavel next week.
Oh yes.
Could we have it? Could we have, obviously, if it's going to be from their point of view? Could we have it as, just so we get an idea of what it is you want us to say? Could we have it as Gavel to start with, and then Otto to finish? Because obviously they.
Yes,
I
can give you a taste of Gavel's perspective.
I was trying to organize a group of recruits to make sure they were ready to face off against the dangers. Heard some kind of commotion outside of town. Rushed out with those green leaves. Saw some people being menaced by some weird bear. But I chased it off. I'm pretty tough.
Weird bear.
Some weird goat man walked out from the same rock the bear ran into, but probably unrelated. I led him to the Abbey. One of them broke my grandfather's lantern, and I left him.
That'd be Gavel's recap of the session. Something like that. But no, look, we'll figure that out. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's been lovely having you all here. If you're watching us on Twitch, stay around. We're going to go raid another channel and pass on the love. I can see, excuse me. See, we had some lovely raiders come in. Gavel's voice is harsh on my throat. I would prefer if we don't have Gavel come back again. We'll have
curse of Gavel.
We'll have a lovely raid into a lovely channel. And thank you so much, lovely raiders, for coming and joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening on the podcast, thank you so much. If you could hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed it, or the thumbs up button, or the comment button, or all three, that would be amazing. And remember, if you wanted to join our little private Discord, the YouTube membership pathway is now open, and you are rewarded with lots of different points that you can use to spend on advantage, disadvantage during the sessions, even creating NPCs that we will use during the sessions. And that is the Tempest Adventuring Guild membership. So make sure, if you are interested, we would love to have you come and join us. But from all of us here tonight, stay safe, stay well. We will see you all on Wednesday for our Homebrew Return of the Giants campaign. Until then, though, have a lovely evening. We'll see you guys again really, really soon. Farewell, everybody. Bye.
Bye. See you, everyone.